All right, CC, how far off is D'Antoni on his assessment of James Harden?
Man, he said a lot of good things. The only thing he just got caught a little tripped up on his words. Now, he's one of the best I've ever. That's all he had to say. He's one of the best I've ever seen, and he would have been okay.
Instead,
because the question would have been today: is James Harden one of the best offensive players you ever seen?
Yes,
absolutely. Yes, he is. But I've seen players. When I was in ninth grade, my brother got drafted by the Lakers. Their center was Kareem. Forget Magic. Their center was Kareem. Kareem, to me, is the best offensive player ever. You know the reason why? Because you still don't have an answer to his sky hook. Single cover, double cover, there's still, not to the day, you still don't have it. He's the all-time leading scorer. He has the most unstoppable shot in the history of the league. So I don't know what D'Antoni's been watching, but I watch Kareem. Just go recent history. Kobe being Bryant. To me, Kobe is a better offensive player than Harden, and that is because of a couple different things. Number one reason, he can play in the low post. Kobe had so many moves in the low post, a lot like Michael Jordan. Also, Kobe being Bryant, through a lot of his career, he played above the rim. Harden will not be known as a player that could ever play above the rim. So, of course, we can pick a bunch of players that we believe are better than James Harden. The coach got a little caught up in the moment and that everything, because I don't think people realize how far and how time
long.
ever.
How big ever is.
Yeah, like how long that exists. Like, that's from the beginning of time. So every person that ever dribbled the basketball, he's the best it's ever.
CC's all caught up in the concept.
I listen to what people say, and I just hold them to what they say, not to what I think they should say. That's what he said.
If we want to talk about evers you could assign to James Harden, we can do some of those. We could have the discussion. Is he the smartest offensive player ever? I'll listen to it. Though, I mean, he's so cagey about drawing fouls. This offseason, they changed the rules because of what Harden was doing as far as getting to the free throw line.
Yes.
With the rip through and with the tricking you into putting your hand out and then immediately going up. His shot selection, his durability, but he, of course, is not the best offensive player ever. He's not the best offensive player Mike D'Antoni has coached. He's not the best offensive player in the history of either of his franchises, I don't believe. I think Kevin Durant, at least up to this point, is a better offensive player. They played for the Thunder.
And there are a lot of people that would say in Houston, Elijah won.
The
dream shake?
Right. You can certainly make the argument. Now, here's a discussion that I think is a fair one to have that James might be able to accomplish. Could he become the second best player at his position ever? Right now in front of him, in addition to Michael Jordan, that's why I'm saying second best, Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade. If we look at their 4-year peaks, show it to everyone, because I think people will be surprised. Now, obviously, Kobe and Wade did it so much longer. But in their 4-year peaks, Harden averages more points than Wade, just short of Kobe. Way more assists than everyone, and a far better true shooting percentage, where you incorporate all parts of your shooting percentage into it, than either player. Harden, now Kobe continued this for quite some time. Now, I know people are going to say, well, count the rings with Kobe. For the record, in that 4-year peak for Kobe, he only won 1 ring and only won 1 MVP. D-Wade obviously never won an MVP. Harden's going to win one this year, might win a ring this year. We can have the discussion about how high up the shooting guard pantheon list, and I left Jerry West out just because of era, James Harden can get. I think he's already the 5th best shooting guard ever, behind West, Kobe, Wade, and of course Jordan. He might be able to pass those guys. We'll see it. The 4-year run he's on, 3 top 2 MVP finishes, most points created in the NBA 4 years in a row. Those are amazing things. But best offensive player ever, like, he's not the best offensive player in the league right now. I think he's behind LeBron and Durant. And he is, like, CeCe's right. If he would have said one of the best offensive players ever. But he is, CeCe, let me ask you this. He's as unique of an offensive player. I've never seen someone play quite like Harden.
No, that style is very unique. And listen.
But almost to his detriment?
It's not to his detriment. It's just the ever question. I mean,
we're all caught up.
That's all it is. I mean, he said it because this is the good news is. The good news is Harden has played so well that we could even have a conversation today with some length and be able to add some people to it. So he's played that well. His coach got him into this predicament, though.
It's all his fault.
Of course.
And by the way, I just should note with the Kobe and Wade thing, that's purely offensively. Kobe was an amazing defender. Wade, one of the best shot blocking guards ever. Harden, obviously, on a different tier.
What's the biggest knock on Harden? What's the biggest knock on his game?
His defense. I don't think there is a fair knock on his offensive game.
His biggest knock is they haven't won the postseason.
Sure.
Yeah.
A 30-30 game, you mentioned it. We've only seen 2 since Moses Malone. Kevin Love did it 8 years ago as a Timberwolf. Dwight last night. Now, one note before we get to Dwight, just a reminder of what Wilt Chamberlain was as a basketball player. There have been 156 30-30 games in NBA history. Wilt is in first place with 124 of them.
Amazing.
Walt Bellamy is in second with 4 of them. So the whole NBA history combined has 32 compared to Wilt's 124. I'm glad Dwight did this because it's a good opportunity to remind people of the player Dwight Howard has been, which is a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, an 8-time All-NBA player, a 4-time Top 5 MVP guy, who for some reason was compared, the expectation was, oh, he should go be Shaq. Shaq's 4 inches taller than Dwight Howard. Like, there are very few similarities between Shaq and Dwight. And if people want to say Dwight didn't quite live up to what his full potential was, I mean, sure, I suppose, but living up to whatever he lived up to, it got him to be the best center in this league for nearly a decade and one of the most dominant defensive players we've seen in the last 15 years. So I'm glad he's having a nice season in Charlotte. Nobody could have seen a 30-30 game coming, but I'm happy for Dwight.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that thought Dwight Howard should have been a lot better as a pro. He doesn't have one offensive move he can go to as a player. Like, he's known as a defensive player, also a rebounder. That's what he is. Did he reach his potential? Because as an athlete, when you see people, you wonder, man, can they get all the potential out of that body? And Dwight Howard, he might be a Hall of Famer. I don't have no vote on that. Don't even care. But he will not be a person that reaches with his skill level, with the body he had, as athletic as he was. Like, he should have been a better NBA player. And in that 10 years that you're saying he was the best center, it's also one of the worst 10 years in NBA history as far as lack of dominant big men.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.